Good morning. I'm StampinDeDe, and this is Stampin Thursday. And I'm so glad to be with you this morning. And I want to make sure that everything is showing. Yes, it is. Good. So, on this Stampin Thursday, we are going to do not one, but two Shepherd's Care cards, and we're going to work hard to get both of those in. I couldn't pick one of them, so I just decided, we'll do both of them. Next week on Stampin' Thursday is Mystery Stampin' Thursday, and I have a fun fold card that we're going to do together. So you gather the supplies and do it with me. We'll do this card together, and I think you're going to love it. So let's get on to our Stampin' Thursday this week with Shepherd's Care. Shepherd's Care is a stamp set. It doesn't have dies with it, but I want you to know that it can be used in so many different ways. So it has the shepherd and the sheep and the city, Bethlehem in the background, and sentiments, wonderful counselor, mighty God, everlasting Father, with Prince of Peace in the center, and I'm going to show you a way to do this one. Peace on earth. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds, and that's a scripture, Psalm 147:3. And then this for the inside, praying that you will feel the good shepherd's care in this season and throughout the coming year. And then it has some stars. So we're going to use all but, I think, one of these stamps. So let's get busy and do that. These are the cards. Two very different cards. One using ink blends and the other using embossing powder around the outside. So we're going to do the ink blend card first. Let's get started with that. I'm going to put a piece of paper underneath, and then the supplies that we need are the Misty Moonlight card base. So let's get it folded and burnished so that it will stay down. Stay closed. All right, we're going to set that aside. And the card base is basic white. And that's what we're going to do our work on. Then we have another piece for the inside, and then some extra pieces for the shepherd, the sheep, and the sentiment. All right. So we're going to set those aside. And we're going to do our ink blending first. And our ink blending is going to use Basic Beige and Night of Navy. So let's start with the Basic Beige. And this is the color that we're going to do the bottom part of our card with. So we're just going to get busy and do our blending on the bottom. This is a light color, so you have to really work with it to get it to bring the color out. It's beginning to come through. And we'll take it about 3/4 of the way up. Let me look at not at Wild Wheat. Let me look at Crumb Cake. I'm wondering now if I did this in crumb cake. You know, the basic beige comes off a little bit green, and I thought it was the basic beige that I used, but I'm thinking maybe, I mean, but I'm thinking now maybe it was the crumb cake. I think last time I started with basic beige and ended up not using that. I think it's the crumb cake. Sorry about that. It's been a couple of weeks, basically, since I did this card. So, yeah. So that's crumb cake instead of basic beige. And we're going to bring it right up here. And the basic beige underneath didn't hurt it. But we are going to go over those areas where it's a little bit. But you know, the ground is a little bit blotchy too, isn't it? So we're not going to worry about that. All right. Yeah, it's definitely the color that I want it to be. It's looking a lot better, isn't it? All right. Okay, I think we've got that part done. Let me get this corner down here just a little bit. And right here just a little bit. All right. And we're going to use our crumb cake again in a minute. Put the basic beige away, because that was not what we wanted to use. Now we're going to come in with our Night of Navy. You know what I did? I don't know what I was thinking, but I did the brown with the blues. With the blues blending brush. So let me get all of the brown off of that. Well, I'll give them a good washing after this. So now we're going to come in with our Night of Navy. And we're going, I want the darker part to be around the edges. Then I'll come into the middle and bring it in some, but I want to start around the edges because that's where I want the darker part to be. You know, as night approaches, the sun goes down, and the last piece of light is right at the horizon. So we're going to leave some light there. I think that's right where I want it to be. Yeah. All right. See, that blending did not take very long at all. And now we're going to come in with basic gray and do our city. And let me find my stamp. Here it is. So we're going to do Bethlehem all along the edges of the city, of the horizon. We're going to start here. And we're just going to come right along the horizon and connect these. There we go. So there's our Bethlehem. And then we're going to, let's do our stars. And we're going to use the basic gray for that as well. So we're going to come, and the stars are really, whew, they're going to be coming in in the darker portions of the sky. That's all we need. Let me get my stamping pad open, my stamp cleaner. Clean that and clean this one. All right. So now the next thing I'm going to do is the star. We'll get this part done and then we'll work on the shepherd. So the star is going to be done with Versamark because we're going to put silver embossing powder on it. So first of all, I'm going to get my embossing buddy and go over this part right here so we don't have any hangover. And then we're going to put the Versamark onto our star. Make sure it's good and covered. And it's going to come in right here. Okay. Then I'm going to bring in my silver embossing powder. Put my Versamark away for right now. Pick this up. I think we got it. And then I have my heat gun. Just a little bit of noise for just a minute. I love to watch the embossing powder begin to, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's beginning to turn shiny. There we go. Here's our star. Can you see how shiny it is? It's beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah. All right. So the only other heat embossing that we're going to do is the cinnamon. And let's see. Yeah, that's this one. So I'm going to get So I'm going to show you how we're going to do this. Now, the stamp is actually this one. The Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father. But for this one, I just want Prince of Peace. So I'm going to use my Post-it tape, and I'm going to bring out a piece that's going to fit right over this part, but not over the P's. And then I'm going to do another one on the bottom part. This is sticky on one side and not on the other, so it works perfect. And now I'm going to use my basic gray and ink this up. I've got everything covered except the Prince of Peace. So I'm going to ink that up really good. I'll make sure that Prince of Peace is inked up. I think it is. Then we're going to tear this off and tear this off, leaving just Prince of Peace. Put that right down here. There we go. Prince of Peace. So let me close my ink before I lay my arm down in it. Then I'm going to take this and come along and get a little closer on the bottom. Do the top. And then banner this. Snip into the middle, and then from each end, snip in. Got that one a little bit off. It's not much of a banner there. All right. So we've got that ready, and now we're going to do our shepherd. So I'm going to do it in basic beige. What did I do with the basic beige? I think I put it over here. Basic beige. I put it, no, we're going to do it in crumb cake. So what did I do with my crumb cake? Here it is. Whew. All right. So we're going to do that in crumb cake. And I think I can get it on this one. I think I can. Let me see. Okay. Let's get our shepherd on here. And now what I want to do is, I just want the sheep, that little lamb. So I'm going to clean this. And then all I want is this lamb. So I'm going to do it right here. Oh, that didn't come off. Let's try that again. Yeah, we got in that time. Okay. So now I get to fussy cut. And that's the one thing that the more you practice it, the more you're going to enjoy it. So let me fussy cut this. I did look to see. I hope that those of you who are watching live, this will encourage you to use this stamp set. It is a wonderful stamp set. There's just so much you can do with it, even though it doesn't have dies. You do have to be willing to fussy cut a little bit, but fussy cutting is not hard. And even if you mess up a little bit, you get a little bit too close, or nobody's going to notice that. I don't get mine perfectly even, but I don't stress about that, because I know that in the long run, nobody is going to care about that. All right, we're going to come around. That was the hard part, that and his face. But there's not a lot of detail here. I'm going to cut right here so that I don't have that hanging over my hand. When you fussy cut, you keep your scissors straight and keep them still, and you turn your paper. And that makes it so much easier. All right, now for the easy part. Now we come down and go around his clothes a little bit. Come around the ground again. You could cut that off if you wanted to. It wouldn't matter. I like to have it on there. The ground. See, I didn't leave a little white there, and I should have, but again, nobody's going to notice that. All right. Up around the ground, we've got that one, and then we need to get this little lamb cut out. And I'm not going to, yeah, I am going to leave the ground there. No, I'm not. You could, but I'm not. I didn't on the main card, so I'm not on this one. I'm just strictly going to cut the lamb out. You could have a whole field of lambs. You could, but I chose just to have one more. I'll look on here in a minute and see. I'm going to go around. I'm going to go down that, get this big piece off, and then come back and cut around his head, around his ear. I don't like to have big pieces hanging over my fingers. All right, now I'm going to come back and fussy cut around his ear. Right there. Get his legs. And I cut around his feet. You could leave the ground, but I didn't on this one. So I'm going to cut up again around his feet. And up around his belly. Around his other leg. I think I even, looks like on the sample, I even cut this leg off. Which I don't know why I did that. I think I just wasn't paying attention. All right. Here we go. Here we go. All right, we have everything we need for this. So let's put it together. I'm going to put the shepherd down first, and we're going to do all of this on dimensionals. Let me look over here and see if we have anybody on here. If you're watching this live, be sure and say hi so that I know you're here. If you're watching this on the replay, I love to know that you're watching as well. So comment, let me know that you're there. And if you have a question, don't hesitate to ask. I will get back to you and answer your questions. I love to know who is participating or who is online and where you're from. All right. Have you used Shepherd's Care yet? It is a really sweet Christmas set, or a set for any time of the year. All right, we're going to put him right here. We're going to put the little lamb right next to him. Oh, he's right here. They're all looking up at the star. Isn't that fabulous? And then we're going to put the sentiment right on that. Okay, get that off. I did. So we're going to put that right here. Prince of Peace. Now, I did do, let's get that on the base. Hopefully my green glue will come right out. Yeah, pretty much. Oh, my hands are not working well today. I do have arthritis, and sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. So if you have arthritis, you know how that is. I'm going to use this side. All right. I get another glue. See if I can get this one to work. Yeah, this one's working better. That one must be almost out. It seems like I always have almost out glue. I tell you what, I use a lot of glue. Do you? A lot of adhesive. I use a lot. All right. Here we are. There's our cover. And now we're going to do our inside. And it might have been faster if I had come along and done that when I did the front. Let's do the crumb cake. Just a little bit at the bottom. Doesn't take much. And then we'll stamp our city with the basic gray. And I think for the inside, I stamped off. So, just so it would be a little bit lighter, not be as bold on the inside. All right, we're going to adhere that to the inside of our card, and we are going to be done with card number 1. See how fast that goes? Now, if you wanted to put one of the sentiments inside, you could certainly do that. This one that I didn't use, he heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. That would be really pretty to put inside here. But we're going to leave this like that and call that one done. And we're ready for the second card now. Wasn't that fast? I'm going to put that glue away. Let me look on here. I'm going to clean my city and clean this one. Hi, Kay. Oh, I know you've used it. And I hope this encourages you with other ways to do it. So the second one we're going to do is using a little bit more embossing, but not a lot. All right. So we have a basic, a very vanilla card base. And we're going to burnish that. And then we're going to use a piece of Designer Series paper. And that is from, I should have kept it out. And you know, I never can remember the names of these papers. that is from Abigail Rose. Abigail Rose. Well, I'm not even sure that's in stock anymore, but it may be retired. But you know what? You could use this. Which one did I look? This one. Country Woods. You could use the Country Woods paper just as easily. It would do just as well as the Abigail Rose. You know, when I decided to include this one in my video, I'd forgotten that I used one that was retired, but it's all right. All right, the first thing we're going to do is our card base. We're going to get it ready. And first of all, we're going to go around the edges with wild wheat. And get my brown back out. And we're just going to not do much. We're just a little bit. All right. The wild wheat is very close to gold. And so we're going to back this in gold or in wild wheat because it looks very close to gold. And now before we're going to emboss it next. So again, I'm going to get my embossing buddy and I'm going to go all around the edge so that the wild wheat ink that I put on there doesn't pick up any of the embossing powder. And then I'm going to use my Versamark. And I'm just going to just go around just a little bit. I'm just going around a little bit. That should be enough. I really don't want much. But let's use the gold. Let's see if we got it enough. Got some there. Some there. Some there. Okay. This bottom again. You know, I wanted a little more on the corner. So I'm going to put a little more right there on that corner. Yeah, perfect. And as you know, no two cards are going to look alike. I'm also going to grab my tweezers so that I'm not burning my hand. All right, get it on. There it goes, right there on that corner. Along the edge. This corner a little bit. Along that edge. That corner. I think we got it all. All right. I think we got it all. Yeah. All right. Now, we want to I want to give it a minute to dry. We want to rough it up a little bit. And I'm just going to go along and kind of bend it and tear it a little bit and fold it down. I just want it roughed up a little bit along the edge. Not a whole lot, but I do want it roughed up a little bit. Bend it. And if it tears, that's just great. We want it to do that. Rough it up. And rough it up a little bit. There we go. There we go. We've got it roughed up a little bit. So next we are going to come along and stamp our shepherd. And you might want to do that before you emboss and rough it up. It doesn't really matter. And we're going to stamp with early espresso. Put this away, grab my shepherd, make sure the ink is off of it. Yep. Okay. And we're just going to stamp him right along this corner. There we go. So we've got what stamping we're going to do done on the outside, and on the inside we're going to go ahead and do that while we've got our piece out here. And I need to get there it is, very vanilla. All right, so I'm going to ink the edges again. Because I'm stamping it in early espresso, I'm going to ink the edges in early. Whoops, I do that. I put my finger down in the ink every time. So we're just going to do the edges just a little bit. You could do it in wild weed if you wanted to. I decided this time I'm going to do it in early espresso and see what it... All right. And then I'm going to stamp the praying for you. Let's see, do I have that one out? I don't think, yes. Praying that you will feel the shepherd's care in this season and throughout the coming year. Okay. Right there. There you go. And we're ready to put that inside. Our card base. Put that on the inside. The only fussy cutting that we have to do on this one is the star. And again, we're going to Versamark it. We're going to get our embossing buddy and just a scrap piece of paper. And do our star right up here. Get our gold embossing powder. Get our star. Emboss it. There it goes. It's turning to gold. I don't know if you can see it. There it is. All gold. And then we're going to fussy cut this star. It's just a matter of cutting straight lines right along the edges of the star. Maybe a little bit of a round right here. This one doesn't require much, but a little bit of patience as we do each of the beams of the star. Do you like to emboss? Is that something you've tried or looking forward to doing? I'm going to cut that off. I really enjoy embossing. It gives it such a different look. Especially something gold or silver or copper. It just makes it shine. And who doesn't like a shine? Another thing you can do, of course, is use Wink of Stella. You don't get quite the depth that you get with embossing, but you get some shine. All right. Now I'm going to round these off a little bit. I mainly just got them cut. And then I'll come back and round them off a little bit. All right, there we go. There's our star. And we're ready. Let's put this on first before we put anything with dimensionals on. Okay. Put this on our wild wheat. Look at that. Doesn't it look like the gold? It really does. And you want some of this to stand up, so don't worry about it if it's not glued down. Oh, that's not good. That close to the edge. Okay. Whoa. Up we go. I'm thinking my card base wasn't quite, it wasn't. So down we go. Well, I'll cut it off both ends. I didn't notice that. sometimes I get in a hurry and just pull out a piece that I think is 8.5 by 5.5, and it's not. And you want to make sure it's 8.5 by 5.5, or it won't fit in your envelope. All right, I think that is 5.5, yeah. All right. And our star with the dimensional right in the middle of the star. The shepherd's looking at the star. There we go. And our peace on earth, well, it is on this card, it is embossed too. So, we're going to do that. You could do all of these at once, of course. But that's too easy for me, you know? It's just too easy. Here we go. Peace on earth. I hope that got all of it. We may have to do another one. Let's see. Whoops. Wrong direction. I got it all. Yay. But there's a little piece right there that I don't want on. And an edge. But peace on earth looks good. I should have used my tweezers. I got it. Bring this back over and just get the top cut off. Do it this way. It seems like that end wasn't very even. Oop. Scoring. And on these, we're going to go at a slant. There we go. Throw this away. Bring this one back. Get our dimensionals. And we don't want to cover up our little lamb. So we're going to put it right there. Get it even. Peace on earth. And then if you want to add, these are the neutrals, adhesive backed sequins. And for these, I would use the gold. Let me grab my, take a pick tool. And put one right down here. One right up here. And maybe a little one. I used a big one on that card, but I'm going to use a little one here. All right, we're done with our card, Peace on Earth. All right, these are our two cards that we've made with Shepherd's Care. Let me look over here and see if there were any questions. I've got stuff everywhere. Let's see. All right. Kay, I'm so glad you're here. And if anyone watches this, the replay, please comment and let me know that you're watching it. I would love to know that you're watching. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate. And then if you're on YouTube, let me know. Let me know who you are and where you're from. I love to see that. All right, I hope you've enjoyed it. It was a little longer than my norm, but looky there. We got 2 cards made. So get Shepherd's Care and find out, look for ways that you can use it. Oh, I've got one more to show you. This one we're doing in a class I'm having Saturday. So we're doing this one. So it's just another one, another way to use Shepherd's Care. All right, I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, Kay. Thank you for commenting and letting me know that you're here. And God bless.